Hello, and thank you for watching. Uh, quick thing, well, I say quick, but it's me, so this will probably end up being about 55 minutes, and I'll talk about 16 other things that are not the movie Predator. Uh, or The Predator, sorry. Predator was the one in 87. The Predator is the one that is out now, being late September 2018. I say that for posterity's sake. Um, but watched The Predator in the theater. It was neat. I mean, it's not going to be a movie I'm probably going to watch 15 million times for the rest of my life, like the original Predator. Um, and I probably got into Predators, the one with Adrian Brody and Alice Braga on the other planet, more. But this one was still neat. There's a lot of stuff in it that I kind of enjoyed. There was a lot of cheesy stuff. It was, pretty tropey. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's fun to watch. I mean, you've got, the main guy, of course, is a military badass, and he makes snarky comments, and he hooks up with these people who are kind of in a little more sort of mentally compromised state, so to speak. But there's some good moments with that. There's a lot of the script is really a lot of people really trying hard to be funny or really trying hard to be something. Um, but the people carry it off well, mostly. One of the coolest things I thought was is the main guy's son has autism. And the way that they describe it, and Olivia Munn's character, who is a like this biologist, it brings about the idea that people think that autism is really just another stage of sort of evolution in terms of the mind and comprehension and being able to be good at certain things or anything like that, and they actually run with it, like they full on run with that idea and everything they're trying to do with the sort of predator species and how they're evolving and taking into parts of them stuff that's really good and works about other species they come across, and they have a sort of explanation for why they're pulling out spines and all that. It's not just trophies; they're actually using that stuff with it. And I'll give Olivia Munn a huge amount of credit. Like I haven't really seen her in that much. Saw her in the X-Men movie, and I think I've seen some of the stuff as the sort of interviewee stuff that she's done um, before. And but she really was pretty damn good in this. Like it pretty much was every bit of it, where it was the sort of nerdy biologist science person she was pretty good at. The all right, I'm science and I'm in my element, this is how I roll sort of thing. She was good in being freaked out and like some legitimate sort of reactions with things, and then she was good as she turned around into like, okay, you guys are freaking me out, now we got to get down to business, and like evolved into sort of like a badass with that stew so too. Sorry. So she showed a pretty good range, and I think they did a really good job with kind of just not making her one note. Like she easily could have been like pretty doctor, but has to get rescued all the time, or badass girl, but she's a badass because she acts like a dude. There was a little bit of that in there, but she kind of had to get pulled in with that, and there was some. But she did like the comedy bit well too. Like her delivery on stuff that was funny was really good. Also, Predator Dog. I was really rooting for the Predator Dog at one point in time. It kind of gets a little. I'm trying to figure out how to put it. It gets a certain amount of behavioral modification and becomes kind of neat. And I was really worried about the fate of this Predator Dog at some point in time. And oh my God, is this Sterling K. Brown? I looked up the name specifically, and I've seen the dude before in a lot of things, and now I got to look up it again. See, oh, right, real time. stuff here, and I feel really bad. I forget this guy's name. African American character actor. And I've always sometimes I think he kind of gets, oh bless you, kind of gets uh, typecast in some goofy roles. Once, not well, goofy movies maybe more than anything else. Directed by Shane Black. I forgot about that. Um, yeah, Sterling K. Brown. Sorry, Sterling K. Brown, that I totally just sucked and blanked on your name. Um, the whole time he was on screen and everything he did, like he did a really good job being. I need more tea. Tea. He did a really good job sort of being. He was almost, he fulfilled that sort of CIA kind of role, but he was more like kind of Men in Black sort of thing, except he wasn't, in a black suit or anything. He was just kind of in clothes. But he kind of fulfilled that Men in Black sort of role, but he did it. I mean, even when he was sort of like, wow, that's really effed up that you're doing that, dude. Like, he pretty much was pretty smooth with it. All I could think of is like, this is what sort of a slightly to the negative Slytherin would be if you work for the government. No, I'm a Slytherin. I'm going to defend Slytherins because we get a bad rap about just being bad guys and everyone's a Death Eater and everyone's, it's not true. But it was sort of this is what I do. This is the job that needs to get done. This is what we're going to do to get it done. Boom, just boom. And there wasn't any sort of like, I need to worry about this moral quandary I'm creating. I was like, no, this is it. Kill him. Boom, 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 done. Like without, I don't want to say regard of humanity or anything else like that, but it was sort of like, you could kind of see that if a certain type of person was in a certain position that and allowed to kind of have this free reign, they would kind of, this is how they would operate. Um, but I thought he was really good in that, and you know, some of the relationships with some of the people was kind of neat and everything, and fortunately, I didn't get. It's a Predator movie, all right. What happens in Predator movies to allow the people in it in the ensemble? What happens? Think about the first one. This really shouldn't be a spoiler if you're watch Predator movies. Is that people in the group are going to die? Um, and that's what happens with this. There's a couple of things I'm trying to not spoil. Um, I don't know why. I just kind of feel like I shouldn't this time. And if you've seen any of my other ones, I'll spoil the crap out of some things and won't spoil the crap out of the others. For some reason, I'm just not into it right now. But they use the autism of the child really well. Like he ends up being, I mean, see, there's a spoily bit in there, but he ends up being super important. Also, a major trigger for me because apparently I went to go check a couple bargain books at Barnes and Nobles right after, and before I realized what I was doing, I had straightened up two display tables and like two whole sections of their bargain um, uh, area. Like I work there. Like I haven't worked at a bookstore in like 9 years. I used to work at Borders for like 10 and a Walden's for a year before that. But it's been almost, oh, it was 2018. Yeah, it's been almost 10 years since I've worked at a bookstore, and I flew through those four things that I fixed like I never left. I mean, it was like pop, 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 and I realized I'm like, oh my god, I'm fixing stuff. No, it was just I saw out of just had to not touch. I just couldn't not touch. I just put it straight and straight and straight and straight. So it was just sort of like watching that just rang all my little spurgy bells with it. Um, Before I even knew what I did, I had done someone's, you know, job for them. But it was neat that to see it not just sort of as, okay, well, we're going to throw this in um, because it would be, I don't know, just throwing a bone to people who think that there's not enough exposure to stuff there. No, it was legitimately like, hey, people were, heavy duty people were thinking that, some of these things aren't a disability. Some of these things are a progress, are our progress. Sorry, and and it was treated as such. So that was cool. So that was cool. And then, they kind of did with the sort of little ragtag gang of misfits that the main guy sort of ended up hooking up with, was certain exposure to certain things that legit uh, combat veterans and soldiers and stuff have to deal with. I mean, there was with the small group of people that they hooked up with, they hit kind of like a lot of things, and at the very least, there's a certain amount of exposure to some of that going on, and I think it, for people who kind of want to look at surfacey stuff, then it has the, oh well, these crazy people, and they kind of get a little bit of redemption, and no, it's quirky with that, but at a certain level too, it was all right. These people who had suffered through some stuff were able to kind of overcome that and go through, but it was also giving exposure to things, and I think that that's what a lot of stuff needs without just yeah about the whole thing. There are some movies or TV shows where if someone is in some level of minority, they're mentally ill, they're LGBTQ plus, um, they're a person of color or a woman, like all that just sort of, it's just sort of in your face about that's what it is, and that's kind of their only like point, their only thing. And there are some things that say that show that, but it's like, yeah, but you know what else I am? I think Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom has that. The one paleo veterinarian, like they found out, I believe she was lesbian, and it was like, yeah, but you know what else? I'm going to do this because this is what I am, like too, and everything like that. So when you can kind of have those things that need exposure and you have exposure to them without it being just beating you over the face, having an agenda, to me, and granted, I'm saying this as a straight white male, to me, that comes off as, oh God, this is sounding really, really bad. I'm just totally digging a hole. But it seems more like it's going to further things more than just one noting the character, because it's that normalizing sort of thing. It's like, hey, look, yes, this is, this thing that is deemed in some fashion minority status and whatever, be it ethnicity, be it orientation or gender or disability or not disability or spectrum or anything like that. This might seem as this, well, they're the crazy guy, or they're the woman, or they're the science nerd, so that means they have to blah 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 blah. Instead of just having it as one note, this is the caricature trope that you follow, that a lot of American things tend to do. Marvel's Agents of Shield, because, I mean, look at that. You have, the main badass that you see originally is sort of a walking Ken doll, and they tried to give him some other character development, but he's still just a walking Ken doll. Okay, of course, he's got the cut chin and the body, and then he's a badass. Of course. The science nerds, of course, are into each other, and for the longest time can't talk about it because they have no social skills because they're science nerds. And then the Asian lady, of course, knows martial arts and is sort of dragon lady without, sort of a lot of personality. And then the cheeky computer girl is the cheeky computer girl who is really against the system but has a heart of gold and just wants a daddy. I mean, it's trope to trope to trope to trope to trope. It's just bleh. This one, it's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on, but that's not the only thing that they are. And that is what a person is. A person isn't just isolated or identified by one specific thing and then just shoved into the face all the time. A person is a mix of all those parts of the character, of which that other thing is a part. And I think some places and some things are doing better at that than others. Disney actually, in a lot of ways, is doing pretty good at that. Pretty Little Liars, Once Upon a Time, they did a really good job bringing in, you know, a lot of stuff, even like LGBTQ plus um, issues and like especially those ones. If I can think of Pretty Little Liars and especially and even a couple of times in like Once Upon a Time, and it was like this was who they are and who it is, and it's part of them, but it's not their only defining trait, and it's just as wonderful and cool and important as anyone else doing anything else with it. So I probably dug about 16 holes there, and with a lot of machinery to that I'm not getting out of, and a lot of things I don't really feel like I explained that well. Um, but yeah, anyway, so see, it's going on forever, and I'm ranting about things that got way off topic. But it didn't really get off topic, but it sort of branched. So The Predator, not amazing movie, not going to win a lot of awards, not going to be, something that's like I have to buy the day it comes out because I will watch this 50 times sort of thing. I mean, it's not like Black Panther or something like that. But it was still fun. It was still neat to see in the theater. Maybe not as neat to see in the theater as some other movies because I will tell you this, a lot of the CGI really questionable. The CGI on the big mega predator sort of guy, kind of crap. Um, and in in a lot of the other stuff, it was real like this is you spent a lot of money on this movie and you didn't do this. Well, why? Why isn't this better? I was just, I don't know. Maybe it's just certain things are moving faster than others technologically. I don't know. Or they just spent too much money on something and ran out of it when it came to post production. I don't know. Um, but some of that was kind of crap. So Shane Black, you and your team there at 20th Century Fox need to work on that a little bit. So good job making people who could easily be one-note characters more fulfilled actual people. Good job making some funny moments, making an entertaining movie. Not so great on the technology, I guess. Sure. Minor amount of, hey, we're going to set up stuff for later on too. Oh, also, I just forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about this and just remembered it. That makes more sense. Bringing in climate change and talking about why we're getting more exposure to the predators and things like that too. So that was kind of neat. And then bringing in climate change is the reason why the predators are stepping up their um, using humans and people from Earth and taking who and what they can, the best and the brightest from it, because you know with climate change, the Earth is warming up, and maybe we get extinct, and maybe they take over the planet because it's going to be hot for them, and they're going to like that. But they're harvesting what they can from us first. It was kind of neat. Um, Baby boy. Yeah, sleepy pug. He was a sleepy pug. Shinigami's a sleepy pug. Can't really see his little droopy face that well, but it's really droopy and adorable. This little pug. Come, wait, come here. Mm, mm. Got pugs owned. I'm not sorry about it at all. I'm not sorry I got pugs owned. We need a little daddy cave. It's just going to be like 40 minutes of me petting Shin now. So I don't know if that doesn't count as like ASMR stuff, right? Unless I get the microphone like right up in here and you can hear like the of his scratching. This is riveting television. Anyway, so that was the Predators, and I deeply and sincerely apologize for my really, really just terrible explanation of what I was trying to say I thought was good about um, making people people as opposed to caricature tropes, which a lot of American media tends to do. Just really. Anyway, so The Predator, have fun. Thanks for watching.